You think this is new to me? Do you know how many rebellions I have put down?
No.
How many worlds I've conquered? How many Avengers I've killed?
Former Marvel studio actor Jonathan Majors has been sentenced to probation for assaulting his ex-girlfriend. Now, Majors was in a Manhattan court this morning. In addition to probation, he has to complete a 52-week in-person batterers intervention program and continue his mental health therapy that he's been going through. He could have gotten up to a year in jail on these charges. The jury convicted Majors last December after he decided to take his case to trial, and his conviction stemmed from an altercation between him and then-girlfriend Grace Jabari last March. Now, she accused him of attacking her in the back seat of a car, hitting her and fracturing her finger. Well, Majors claimed Jabari was the aggressor and went into a jealous rage after reading a text message that he received from another woman. He said he was only trying to get his phone away from Jabari. In another story, more troubles for country music singer Morgan Wallen. Now, police in Nashville arrested Wallen for allegedly throwing a chair from the rooftop of singer Eric Church's new restaurant called Chief's Bar. The chair reportedly hit the ground just a few feet away from where two officers were standing. Police say they have video showing Wallen tossing the chair, and some witnesses told investigators Wallen laughed about it afterwards. Now, he's been charged with 3 counts of reckless endangerment and disorderly conduct. Wallen's attorney released a statement confirming the arrest and said Wallen is cooperating fully with authorities. Wallen was released on $15,000 bond. His next court date is May 3rd, the same time his tour is coming to Nashville. And we also want to turn to the sexual trafficking investigation into music mogul Sean Diddy Combs. Combs has now been named as a defendant in a new lawsuit filed against his son. Court TV has received a copy of the suit, which was filed last Thursday in Los Angeles County Superior Court. 26-year-old Christian Combs is accused of sexually assaulting a woman who was working on a yacht that Diddy rented in December of 2022. The alleged victim reportedly claims Christian drugged and sexually assaulted her, and she claims to have transcripts of audio clips that were recorded by a producer in the studio of her denying Christian's advances. And the woman claims Christian Combs arrived on the yacht and was intoxicated from drugs and alcohol. She also alleges that he forced her to drink shots and then, when she tried to leave, began physically assaulting her. She then claims that he touched her on the legs, breast, and vagina, and that he also tried to kiss her. The alleged victim says she had bruises on her arms from the incident, and these are some pictures filed in her complaint. Christian Combs is accused of sexual assault, sexual harassment, and infliction of emotional distress in the lawsuit. Sean Diddy Combs is being sued for premises liability as the person who chartered the yacht and for aiding and abetting his son in the alleged assault. Now, this allegation is the latest in a host of lawsuits against Diddy of sexual assault, sex trafficking, and engaging in other criminal activity. His attorney, Aaron Dyer, released this statement. This is just another lewd and meritless claim from Tyrone Blackburn, just like what he filed in the Rodney Jones lawsuit, which he still has not served. This complaint is filled with the same kind of manufactured lies and irrelevant facts we've come to expect from Blackburn. This is exactly why the federal judge in New York slapped him 2 days ago for a pattern of behavior in improperly filing cases in federal court to garner media attention, embarrass defendants with salacious allegations, and pressure defendants to settle quickly, and why he was referred to the disciplinary committee in the Southern District of New York. We will be filing a motion to dismiss this outrageous claim. All right, joining us to discuss is civil rights and trial attorney Adante Pointer and trial attorney and law enforcement analyst Andrea Lewis. All right, Andrea, let me start with you, and let's start right there. This whole idea of filing these frivolous lawsuits, it's the same attorney, as he mentioned in the previous lawsuit by Ronald Jones, and with this particular lawsuit, we've seen these types of things before. What do you make of this assertion that these are just filings meant to garner interest, meant to drum up bad publicity, which I would imagine hopefully leads to settlements?
Very good question. So I have handled many sexual assault cases, sexual harassment, and other sex crimes, both as a prosecutor and in my civil practice. In fact, that is to a large extent what I do on a day-to-day basis. I've handled many of those cases against powerful people, celebrities, and others, just like Mr. Combs here. This case reeks of a case where he is neck deep in this. His sons clearly have involvement in this. And there is a much bigger problem here than I think that has even surfaced at this point. Now, why do I say that? Because you have an orchestrated effort here by multiple law enforcement agencies throughout at least 3 different states that we've heard of. They've come together, executed warrants. This is a wide-scale investigation with the federal government. That just doesn't happen if these are made-up charges, if this is a money grab of some sort. That's nonsense. The evidence in this case, even as it's come out so far, certainly would lead an observer to come to the conclusion that there is something very wrong going on here in this man's orbit and with the people that he surrounds himself with. And frankly, he may very well be the center of that problem. And I think Sean Combs has a lot of problems on his plate.
Yeah, no surprise that his son is involved in this stuff. He seems like, this is the kind of lifestyle that Puffy has been involved in. If these allegations are true, doesn't surprise that his son is kind of getting involved in it as well. These are the types of things that happen. Marvel star Jonathan Majors, Adante, sentenced to probation today. Surprised there? Do you think it was the right result?
I'm not surprised. Frankly, you see a lot of people who are first-time offenders, first time being convicted on charges like these, receive probation and then as well as some type of order to attend counseling, which is what he's going to do. He's going to do 52 weeks, essentially a year of batterers counseling or domestic violence counseling. So I think the judge came down right where you would expect it for someone who has a profile like him. Despite him being high profile and this being splashed all over the media, this is what happens every day in America in courtrooms with people who have that type of criminal history or lack thereof, but are convicted of similar crimes.
Yeah, I was only a little surprised, Andrea, because there is something we like to call a trial tax. When you decide to take it to trial, sometimes you get hit with a little bit more than you normally do, because I think I agree with Adante. This was the right result. But I can tell you from the evidence in the case, it really seems like this guy has some issues. So I think the idea that they try to address it with this batterers counseling as well as therapy is certainly a good idea and probably the right result.
I agree with you. There are certain instances, of course, where throwing somebody in jail because of their bad conduct is warranted. There are other incidents where situations where intervention, like the one that this judge, obviously instituted in this case, can be helpful, especially to prevent, hopefully, repeat offenses and to get the person help. That appears to be what happened here. And keep in mind, he is still on probation. So in the event that something goes awry and he messes up, that jail is still hanging over his head.
Yeah, no question about it. Let's turn now to Morgan Wallen. Adante, I don't want to say that it was his misfortune that he threw a chair off the roof and it almost landed near 2 cops. And that was the big problem here, because clearly the problem here, and he's got a little bit of a history of this. He's got some anger management issues. I think maybe he has a drinking problem. I don't know. I think the court needs to look into that, very similar to what we saw here, to address those issues, to keep these things from happening. But your thoughts on his being charged with reckless endangerment for what really seems to amount to what we're seeing more and more, this kind of rock star activity. Now, his chosen field is country music, but acting like a rock star is sort of how they describe this type of thing.
Yeah, partying like a rock star.
Yeah.
It's something that we've all seen, heard, watched in the movies or read the memoirs. And so that's what he's doing, although he's a country music star. At the same time, I think you're right. I mean, if this happened and their cops weren't close by and the chair, despite how reckless it was for him to throw such a thing off a roof, you probably don't hear about it. And I think 9 times out of 10, someone of his stature, you don't hear about it. But in this situation, this chair, you know, crashed down right next to some cops. And those are the people who have, if you will, an obligation to try to monitor and curb this type of behavior. Because at the end of the day, no matter how much we could try to explain it off as rock starish behavior, that's very dangerous, and that could have really hurt somebody. So, you know, he has to get it together. I imagine this will just be a slap on the wrist. He'll pay a fine and probably go on about his business.
Yeah, again, we're seeing a little bit of a pattern with him, so maybe a little bit more, maybe go to counseling, do something. But you're exactly right, not to minimize what he did and call it rock star behavior. Very, very dangerous. Had that hit someone, who knows what would have happened.